Hello everybody, it's black to play in this position. Black has an extra rook. Question is, what should black do? If I give you two choices, is it rook d8 or king g7? What would you say? Today, we are talking about the consistency issue in chess. Chess is a very difficult game. It's one of the most cruel games in the world out there. Why? Because a single slip can cost you any position. You can accumulate the beautiful advantage. You can play the best game in your life. You can ruin everything with a single mistake. It's not like that in most other sports, right? For example, in basketball. Well, I mean, if you're like 35 points up, LeBron James can sit in the bench in the final period, right? It doesn't matter, you will win the game. Or in soccer, for example, football, it's the same. If you are up 5-0, who cares? You can be complacent, you can get maybe 2 goals in, but you still win. But in chess, maybe also in boxing, right? That's the closest game that you can maybe compare. A single slip and you can get a knockout, basically. Which means when you want to improve in the game of chess, consistency becomes a huge part. You need to be making safe moves one after the other. The room for error is very low. Your floor must be extremely high for you to gain rating and keep that rating. And as they say, you're as weak as your weakest link, right? If you consistently fail in those positions where you're winning and you blunder and you lose because of blunders or oversights, then your rating will never catch up with your true strength. Of course, in this position, rook d8 is much better because you're pinning that bishop and your extra rook will tell. In the actual game, my student, after playing a beautiful game, went king g7 with the pure logic of he wanted everything to be as safe as possible. But you tell me what he's missing. Obviously, he's missing this simple check, discover attack, and black is losing the queen and the game. Incredible, right? So he actually played one of the most amazingly beautiful strategic games until he reached this position. Just to show you what kind of great things he did to come to that moment, right? For example, it's going for a counter against knight on d4. It's a beautiful move. Take on d4, take the rook, right? Just look how beautifully black is treating this entire game, activating rook, right? Take, open the queen, offering a piece trade. Beautiful, beautiful chess. Rook c8, developing with tempo. Amazing, right? And you come to this moment and he blunders with king g7 and he ruins everything that he took advantage of from the beginning position. That's an incredibly instructive game that I want to share with you. This has implications when it comes to chess training. This is also what separates strong players than weaker ones. Grandmasters, they almost never lose games like that until that's like a hyperbolic chess or something, right? So it's not even possible for a master to lose a game like this. They have fixed those problems when they were kids, probably. So this means such training of simple blunder checks, responsibility when you're winning, care, safety becomes enormously important if you want to grow as a chess player. In my recent chessable course, my opponent's move, I dwell into those subjects to raise your floor in chess. Another student game, white, with down a piece right now, starts playing beautiful chess. Just look, he sacrifices the a2 pawn to push the dangerous passer. He's understanding the main counterplay from this position, and he keeps making beautiful moves. a6, knight c6, just look how beautiful he's playing this segment. Rook d8, you cannot take my rook because I win material. And here comes this check, knight c3, takes, rook b8. You see, he's playing beautiful chess to turn things upside down. Suddenly it's white who is winning here. Knight b5 because, yeah, he needs to lose material. Now white has an extra exchange, attacks the knight, knight moves back, and here comes the blunder. That ruins everything. So white relaxes, white sees that most of the struggle is over, he is a winning position, and white becomes careless, and white grabs the pawn. Oh my god, rook a6, and he allows bishop c4 check, and white is losing the game. Most blunders also happen when there's a pawn grabbing opportunity. So as growing players, you must be very careful when you're capturing a free looking pawn. Responsibility must go higher. People do the reverse. When they have a winning position, they relax, they get complacent, they don't check for these threats and blunders, and they lose positions like this. So the devil in such positions, when there's a pawn grabbing opportunity almost anywhere, anytime in the chessboard, that's very important. But especially when you're winning, you don't need to win extra material. You already have material here as white. What's important is to keep control, stop counterplay, and win the game in a slow and boring way. Another instructive position. White in this position obtains a winning advantage because of extra pawn, beautiful rook, better pawn structure, and black goes king h7, okay? Looks like black is giving away a pawn. So white looks at this move, he says, hey, you unguard your f7 pawn, and white takes it. Can you tell me which move he's missing? Yes, he misses king g7, king g6, and suddenly white needs to give up material, and black won the game. So again, when you have an extra pawn, when you're winning advantage, you must be very careful in blunder check, especially when you're about to capture a pawn. Obviously, there are several factors that can cause defeats when you're having a winning position. This position I gave to one of my students. It was a training game. He was playing with white pieces. And if you look closer, black is in a zugzwang position. He cannot move a single piece. The pawn cannot move because of the bishop. The king is paralyzed because of the d6 pawn. So white needs to take his time, gradually improve, and finally break through the position, okay? White is all the time in the world. White should not hurry, but white should give zero counterplay to black. Now look how white played this segment, okay? He gains space on the king side, then he improves the king. Obviously, these are all good moves. Bishop e4, h6, h5 is not necessary, but he plays it. King f4, bishop b7, and here white goes king g4 because he's only focusing on his own plan, right? The king is paving way for the pawn, maybe the g pawn will move. He ignores the opponent's resources. And can you tell me, folks, what is he allowing black to do as a result of king g4? Yes, he allowed me to play f5, which of course I play this move instantly because now there's a fork, which means you must take en passant, but look what happens then, right? This d6 pawn becomes weak, it will be captured, and the king has no invasion. Suddenly black is winning a pawn for basically no reason. Why did white give this to black? In fact, I won the game very, very quickly after a couple of moves, right? Yeah, a6, I will even show you how the game went in the end. He took on c6, and obviously black is having a completely winning position. In this case, he resigned. Okay, so the bottom line is this. This is the bottom line. Sometimes in a winning position, you totally ignore the opponent. In fact, the logic and thought process should be completely opposite, right? Responsibility goes higher when you have a winning position, right? Now you have more weight in your shoulders. You have to win this position, which means minimizing counterplay. Even though it looks like black is zero counterplay here, folks, this is a striking example because it looks like black is in zugzwang. But chess is full of resources, and by going king g4, white is allowing black to push f5 and destroy the entire pawn chain. I will leave you with this striking example again, folks, where after turning the game upside down, playing beautiful endgame, white lost everything with this single capture on a6. Grandmasters have solved these problems when they were kids, and yet, as I noticed as a chess coach, this is not fully automatized yet for many casual players, many adult improvers. And we need more specific training about this, right? Like, for example, blunder check puzzles or converting an advantage training positions. Then the thought process should be, how do I keep it simple and stupid without giving much counterplay to the opponent? And how do I win the game in the most technical fashion? But the thought process is totally the reverse than what people think, right? We have to give more focus, more concentration, and more effort to convert a winning position. As they say, right, it's a cliche. The most difficult thing in chess is to win a winning position. Well, there's some truth behind it because it's not easy. Your opponent will try to find ways to swindle you, right? Here, it's a big area of potential improvement. If you fix this, folks, trust me, if you fix this big area, then your chess will improve. Your floor will be raised. And obviously, there are some resources. For example, my chessable course, my opponent's move specifically trains for this. Your opponent makes a move, even though you're winning, you must perceive the threat. You must perceive the swing-leg attempts, and you need to find that safe move. You need also, in my calculation course on Chessable, you're specifically training the best reply by the opponent and constantly searching for what's coming at you, right? Because chess is like a game of tennis or boxing. Your opponent has a fundamental role. He or she tries to punch you continuously. It's a continuous dialogue. You cannot ignore the opponent, but it's also one of the toughest and the cruelest game out there because, well, even though you've played an amazing game, you can lose everything in a single moment, right? So that's why it's a mentally strenuous game, chess. That's why maybe we love this game and also maybe hate the game so much sometimes, right? Because of its very nature. And obviously there are some other emotional factors that are behind defeats in winning positions, time trouble, panic, stress, especially when you're playing against a higher rated player, when there are rating gain potential, right? There are other emotional triggers and factors that are also influencing us. I personally lost so many games in a winning position against higher rated players, against international masters, grandmasters. I lost many games because I lost my objectivity, because I was feeling that I was very close to the victory, and that caused me to lose those games, right? Because I was no longer looking at the position on the board. I was imagining stuff, rating gains, whatever, yeah, all these emotional triggers that took away the objectivity. Yeah, chess is like a Buddhistic game, right? You need to constantly stay on here and now. You need to really forget about the past, but give your best and the best effort and concentration to the current decision on the board. And you must give more focus in a winning position. Hopefully this video helped you. Please give me your feedback on YouTube. Share your similar ideas. Maybe you disagree, maybe you agree. But if you fix this, trust me, folks, your rating will really improve. And you will stop giving away games like this in a very painful way. Bye-bye.